Today I'm coming to you from Landis Valley Village and Farm Museum, and I'm going to turn you around in a second, show you the place. And welcome to Simply Exploring and Adventuring with Lewis. As we go and proceed on our adventure today, I'm going to read a little bit of information here that they have on the sign here. The Landis Valley Village and Farm Museum is a living history museum which interprets the history of Pennsylvania Germans. The museum includes farmsteads, a crossroads village, furnished historic houses, period trades and crafts, and exhibit galleries. Please begin your experience at the Visitor Center for site admissions and information. The Landis Valley Museum store features distinctive merchandise and books. The store can be accessed without paying admission. And as it mentions, normally this is a paid tour, from my understanding. I didn't brush up on my history here, but I will do a little bit more research about this place. I was here yesterday filming, but I accidentally deleted the whole thing when I formatted, and I didn't upload it to YouTube, to Google in a certain way, and I didn't have any space on there too, so it wouldn't let me add any my file up to it because it says the free stuff was full. So here I am at the Landis Valley Museum store. Now this is actually, pardon, there's a airplane flying over right now from the nearby airport, Lancaster Airport. I live here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, so right here it says that any purchases you make here support this whole museum complex. So I'm gonna step up here, up on the deck here, and it looks kind of neat. I was here, like I said, yesterday, and I have to come and reshoot all of the footage again. And due to the current situation right now, it's closed. So the whole complex is closed, but I hope you can see through, get an idea what the museum store looks like. There's stuff you can make purchases here from, and it entails like stuff that they would have done back in those days. So it gives you a sense of what it was like to live. I believe it was 1800s is when this place was more active at one time. From what I saw yesterday, not every building here is original to the site, but a lot of it is. Most of it is original to here. Some buildings were brought over to add to the complex, because I guess they needed also to save those buildings. But this is where you would normally begin your visit, right here. This is the actual office, the visitor center office, and I believe it's $12 for adults. Can't see the admission price, but let me see if I can see anything through here. Yeah, it's $12 for adults and like $8 for children. And I did film this yesterday, that big boot, and actually you can go in upstairs and check out the rest of the facility. But we will continue walking down here. You know, I've lived here over about 25, 26 years, and I've come by this place many times, and I've always been intrigued to come and check it out. But due to the current circumstances, you can't come and visit. So, but normally this would be admission required on this point. And I'm going to start the tour a little differently than I did yesterday. Yesterday I started there's another building over there, but we'll see that I guess later. Sorry for the shakiness here, because I'm trying to put on a glove on my shooting hand here. So wait, what the heck? Sorry. There we go. Let me get that on. I don't want to pause. I'm trying to keep this as a one shoot. So I'm trying to not to be too shaky. I should have had that on to begin with. But yesterday it was a little bit cold. Well, it was supposedly warmer, but it was a cloudier day, so today is not such a bad day. It's in the lower 40s for December 7th. I mean January 7th, sorry. Still thinking Christmas and stuff. So it's actually January 7th. So excuse me of that. That's going to stay in the clip because we do make mistakes. I am not perfect. And like I'm panning around. Yesterday I started from that yellowish mustard colored building. We'll see that later, and we'll see a lot of these later. But I found that neat right there. You'll see what it is in a bit. So we're gonna come up close. I'm trying to shoot distance. This is called the Sexton House. All the harness and saddlery. This is building number 2. Built in 1850, originally next to the Landis Valley Mennonite Church, which is right over there. It used to be right over there on the other side of it, I believe. I don't know if it was right behind this building here or right beside it. But like I said, with none of the buildings being closed, I intend to come back here again and do the full tour once it's open again. But if you can see inside a little bit in there, it gives you an idea of 1800s Pennsylvania German life. Peers into it. I can see in there. So this was the saddlery and harness. They would make the saddles and harnesses and stuff like that here. I believe I saw shoes in there too. So I guess maybe also when they weren't that super busy, they would do shoes and stuff. It didn't say anything about like a cavalry or whatever, but anyway. Also, another issue I was having is that I had bought this cheaper, way too large of a SD card for my phone, and it would a lot of my footage would get damaged, and I couldn't use it. It wasn't usable. So right now we're coming around this area right here. This is a round smokehouse. It's probably hard to see anything in there unless I should have turned on my light maybe. But actually it's a little better than it was. And if you can see, there's a center post there, and then there's racks. So actually you can see a lot better than I did yesterday. And they would hang the meat in there, and as it would explain here how it would work. This is a typical round smokehouse. Was moved to the museum in the 1960s from southern Lancaster County. This building is also unusual that it is construction from slabs of wood, which were cut on a radius and stacked in order to create the walls. Smokehouses were commonly found on farms and were used to cure the pork and other meats. Farmers hung meat from the central tree, built a small fire below, smothered the fire with sawdust to create smoke, and kept the meat in place to smoke cure for days. Thus preserved, the meat would keep without being refrigerated. So this was how they kept. And this is what I'm sure it's hard to see it from in here. You would have to go inside. If you could look inside, you can see the individual boards. I wish I could go inside. I don't think you can anyway when yeah, this is sealed. They have a screen here. But anyway, you could see here these individual pieces of wood were cut at a certain radius. If you look carefully on the inside, you can see the individual boards over there and how they look like little slabs, but it's hard to see from here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. It's still hard to see, and my video is getting blurry because I'm using my cell phone, but hopefully you can see that a little better. Yeah, but each of the boards were individually cut and create that round shape. And this is another storage area. Now I was reading these were something, but I can't recall what it was. I read it what it was from the other side when I was here yesterday, but they look like horse stalls of some sort here. And then there's a second one over here. I believe it said this building was, I can't remember what it was called, but when we come down the main crossroads over here on the other side, you'll see it. Okay, this is the Textile Bar. Okay. So they would, this was used as an educational space, built in 1960. Building contains textile exhibits and features demonstration of spinning, weaving, and flax to linen process. Yeah, this is another awesome thing about this place. They actually do demonstrations of the different trades that they would do back then. And of course now it's also the restroom. But this building, I think it's more modern, probably. I mean, it has stonework on the base, but it wasn't probably what it was originally intended for. So, like I said, I'm just going to go around in a certain pattern. And I'm trying to do this all in one footage, one long footage. So it might be a kind of long one. Yesterday I kept on accidentally hitting and trying to take photos because my button to start the video is just right above the little button to take photos, which I will be, which I should have out, but I will be getting photos. And come on, I'm trying to get the sun is at a certain angle this morning, this afternoon. Oh, come on. Sorry for the shakiness again. Okay. Now it's strange because I have my glove that I have on it. It's supposed to be touch sensitive, but for some odd reason it's not agreeing with me. I wanted to come and do this earlier today, but I work at nighttime, so it kind of makes it difficult. And I did it yesterday morning because I was also taking my mother-in-law to the place where she goes and volunteers at a food bank yesterday. And I happened to be close by here, so I decided to, why not? While I had to wait a few hours for her to get done with what she was doing. But anyway, okay, I'm going to pan and show you. Sorry. I love the old stockade style fence like they would have used during the Civil War. I don't know if it was a common thing back then, but there's also a little pond right here on the property. And that road right over there is Route 272 here in Lancaster. We're in the Landis Valley area of Lancaster, and this will take you over to Ephrata and Adamstown, is the end of the road here toward Reading, and then you can jump on Route 222, which is the main one that comes into Lancaster City. But also this route right here will take you to the Ephrata Cloister, which is another closely related museum, which documents I think 1700s German history here in the area too. If you may not, as if you know or not, a lot of these areas were settled by the Moravians, which are a German sort of religious group. Well, they were technically. So this right here is the Woman's Garden. I'm not going to read it this time. You can read it, pause it, and read it yourself. Hopefully you can see it, because yesterday I was able to take good footage without any issues with the sun, because there was no sun yesterday. But we're going to continue on the tour. I'm going to just follow around here. There is also a walking trail that goes right around the whole property here. That's not part of the museum here. So I believe they still use this for horses, so it's active. And because it says do not feed the animals, please. So I believe they keep horses still here. I'm not sure if they have them during the summer months. And then they have these little greenhouses right here. That's kind of neat to see that they're still in use. I also see the our Amish neighbors, as well as some of our Mennonite neighbors, still use this those methods of growing certain plants even during the winter months. So, okay. I'm going here now. Just went around that. This is the log farm, recreation, 1971 of Pennsylvania German farmstead from the 1760s to the 1780s, including house, barn, and outbuildings. So that's what this is. What is this is the log farm right here, as you can tell by the style of the buildings. I think this was a horse hitch, but I could be wrong. It could have also been something to cook food, but it looks like more like it's a horse hitch, but by that base around it, it could be for that. I'm not sure. Like I said, I will intend to come when this reopens again and do the full tour. I believe they do a full tour. And then there's an oven right here. Let's see if I can get this. I'm trying to do this without flipping my camera the vertical way to get a better shot of it, but see if my come on. Sorry. It's gonna be horrible. Shouldn't have said that. So I will be in circle. There's the main entrance of the building. See what we can see inside. I believe this was it's hard to see, but this is a bedroom. Okay, so this is an actual home. I think you can see that pretty well in there. There's the bed. And looks like somebody didn't make the bed too well this morning. But this is would have been a typical early home, 1700s, like it said. 1700s, 1800s. So 1760s, 80s. So this is really early. I said 1800s, but it does date back to a lot even earlier. A typical village like this. So I'm walking in, I'm not going in no particular order here. I was just gonna try to do it in a certain way, but I'm like, yeah, as long as you see a lot of the buildings and see the whole facility here when we're done. Okay, not sure what this building was. It looks like it's for animals because they have the split door there, but it might have been something else. We know it's not a smokehouse. It could be a cellar of some sort. There's another barn building type building over there because you can see it now. Now this was kind of cool when I saw this yesterday. I love how this was. I'm kneeling down so because the sign is so low. So hopefully you can see it and read it. Stop it and read it. Okay. So this was a hay barrack, and I hope you can see it. I'm going to come around. There's some sort of trough here, yeah. And on these poles, individual poles, they were adjustable. So at the end here, I'm seeing if I can do a close-up here. This one is not, okay, there it is. If you look down, they have a peg. Probably more than likely, it would have probably been a wooden peg. It wouldn't have been a metal one, but it probably would have been a wooden peg back when they used this, and they could adjust the height of that roof depending on how big the hay bundles got. So the more hay they needed, the higher they needed to set it up on the poles there. And then we'll continue. I didn't see much in there, so I didn't walk in there. But this is, yeah, it's more like a barn. Yeah, but this is what they call the log farm, I believe. Again, more of that stockade style fence, as they call it, I believe. The way it was stacked like that. That was very, very popular during the Civil War. Hey, a squirrel. And I'm hoping to capture something that I captured yesterday. Yesterday when I was here, there were 2 red foxes frolicking and playing around the back end over here where we're going to visit next. So hopefully I might capture them again today, because it was so neat to see them playing around. And one actually stopped and from a distance stared at me from back over here this way. He was over here somewhere along that fence right there. He was I was up that way behind that area over there where the white building is over there. I was toward that direction, and he ran along the fence that way, toward that way, and then he saw me and then he ran back. So this is the farthest end. Again, they do keep horses here apparently, maybe during the summer or something like that, or maybe they don't even at all anymore, but apparently they have a sign not to feed the animals here. There's like a small walkway here, but it's being taken over by grass and stuff. So I'm going to go to this building here. There is a sign at the end of the road here of what this building is, but I'm going to go just do a quick tour and walk around of the building. It's kind of neat. See if they'll see anything on the inside of the building. Of course, like I said, these ain't open. Ah, there it is. This is the Grossmutter House. Shortly after their wedding, Jacob Landis Jr. and his bride, Catherine Graybill, moved into the main farmhouse. His father, Jacob Sr., and mother, Elizabeth, moved out of the main house and built this structure in 1840. This was Typical of many Pennsylvania Dutch families to expand housing on the property to accommodate the growing family and aging parents. So this became the parent Jacob Landis's home, him and Catherine Landis, who founded this area, I believe. That's why it's called Landis Valley. But this is the home that they lived in the later years. And then I was just right on the other side over there. And there's the bedroom again. Furniture was not simple, but pretty nice even back then. Now, I believe this is the main house that they were talking about in the video. In the video, the sign over there, sorry. And it explains a little bit why you can see the two different styles of building back then. You can tell it looks like the latter part here was built later. The original house stopped right there, and then they did this addition later on as the family grew. And then this is your typical outhouses. There were no plumbing in those days here, and another stove over here. So I'm assuming they would, I don't know if this had a interior stove or not, or some sort to cook. So it might have been make stuff like that. Cool. Has a nice little porch up top. And like I said, you could see in the corner by the different two brick styles that this was a later addition. This looks like to be part of the more earlier fence, and then it was replaced by the newer one over there. At least that section was. Okay, there you go. I'm trying to get to the corner here, but I'll be going out and about, and you can see the house better. And we're going to read a little bit more about this home as well as the other one. Going down the, I don't know if you can come out here. Oh yeah, you can. Sorry, had to push the fence a little harder than I wanted to. It was kind of stuck. But right there, I guess that was either stop number, and it's hard to see it, but I think up there you can barely see it, but I think it says 17 something, and it has a date. Almost like it ends in a 6, but it might have the dates over here of when this house was constructed. But you could tell it had a date up on the top of that second floor of the building. Of course, there was no cornerstone, so sometimes they would set them in like that. Okay. Let's see. So this is I'm trying to see if I can stay out of the shadows here a little bit and let you read the information there. I gotta get a little closer. The brick farmstead, and we were just over at the Grassmuda house. So it gives you a little brief history of the two houses here and the property. and it shows you a lot of the documentation here. Their birth certificates for Elizabeth and the oldest daughter of Elizabeth and Jacob, who died young. His second daughter, born in 1810, married a blacksmith. And apparently Jacob Landis was a blacksmith by trade, and he's buried over at the Christian Fellowship Cemetery, which we'll try to go by and try to find it now that I know what it looks like. But it's interesting to see that their birth certificates here, and I think one might be even the death certificate too. But so we'll continue on. It has a lot of these posts with directional signs. We'll be heading to all these shortly after I come back from this farm building. And these are more modern, I believe, wagons. They would normally on, I think it's usually in the fall and as well as Christmas time and in the winter months, they would do hay rides. I'm sure, I think you have to pay for that. Some things were, if I remember correctly reading, you had to pay separately for it, and sometimes it would be included in the admission price. Because they do also special events here, you know, during certain times of the year. So now I'm gonna do a little research at the library, a local library here. But I believe they used to offer passes, free passes, to come and visit this place, and not have to pay, obviously. But like I said, with the current situation, yeah, this is definitely a farm building. It looks like they keep horses or something in here. And it's interesting because I think yesterday when I was here filming, that cow up there was facing the other way, so I think the breeze was strong enough to move it that way, but I don't recall. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more and you can see this guy. Hello, this is Simply Exploring and Adventuring with Lewis. Today we're coming to you from Landis Valley Village and Farm Museum. As it says, this is the Landis Valley Village and Farm Museum. It's a living history museum, interprets history of the Pennsylvania Germans. The museum includes farmsteads, crossroads, village, furnished historic houses, period trades and craft, exhibits, galleries. Please begin your experience at the visitor center for the site information, admission and information. But due to COVID, unfortunately, it's not currently open. So we're just gonna do an external tour, you know, of the whole property right now. Sorry, let me change it to the other mode. I forgot to do that from the beginning. I'd rather go this way, it looks better. And this is the museum store. Weather Vane Museum. Go back. Your museum store purchase. Well, this is the museum store. you saw on the one sign. Oops, sorry. Wasn't looking where I was going and I stepped over the curb here. Trying to get a nice shot of it. Need to go through the back, but just gonna come up the steps here, see what we can see inside. Like I said, because of COVID, and if you can see up there, they have front tours and basically this place. Oh wow, look at that! Handmade brooms. And this place basically tells you a lot of the Pennsylvania Germans' history, early history. I decided to take a little shortcut here, but I've been wanting to come here for the longest time, but every time I slips my mind, and then now with COVID going on, it makes it even harder. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to film today. Let's see, because you're supposed to start here at the visitor center, but like I said again, due to COVID, I think they are closed right now. So let's see if they have anything on the door here. Pennsylvania Commission. Unless we have to come during another time, apparently. Wow, look at that big giant boot. Cool. And there, I don't see no times or anything like that, so I'm just gonna walk around here. Oh, there's a bikeway, a pathway here, over there. There's also the cemetery right over there. It's part of this whole facility here. Now there is a way to get inside, but I don't know if you're really allowed to go in there. I mean, I know I can still walk around the property here. Looks like a little bit. There's a pathway that goes around the whole property. I mean, you're supposed to pay the admission, but like with the current situation with COVID, I'm sure it's not going to be easy, like, because I'm not sure if they're still open. Because like I said, I don't see no hours of operation. So normally you would begin here, pay for the tour, and then you can technically go in to see the other buildings. But there seems to be a way to get in here without going through that fence here. Because I know technically you're supposed to pay for this tour. But if it's open and available, I'm going to try to see. It says admission required beyond this point. Oh, but apparently, wow, this is the tin shop. So a recreation of the mid-1800s tin shop. I'm gonna go step up here. Okay, I think you can usually walk into these buildings. It gives you some information about this is where they would make their tinware. So let me look through here. Oh, wow, neat. So again, I'm gonna get a shot of the tin. Let's see if I can get a. I'm maxed out now. Okay. So I have stacks of wood they probably use still for warm up stuff. And like I said, yesterday when I was here, right along that fence right here, I was standing over there at that building, which we'll see eventually, and there was 2 foxes running along the fence line on the inside of the fence here on the property, and running and playing with each other. But one of the foxes was like a darker brown, and the other one was, you know, you could tell it was a red fox, but the other one, I don't know if it was a male or if the colors, that's the reasoning why. Along here there's a garden area. I would have rather preferred that it was the sun was behind me or something. If I would have came earlier this morning and taken it, a lot of this footage probably would have been done and been able to visit several other places that I did yesterday too, which hopefully I'll be able to do it before the sun goes down and looks better, because it's now the winter months. This probably would have not been here. The hydrant would have not been there. That probably was added later on for safety purposes as the township grew and all that here. So now we're approaching, I believe this is the Seed Project building. I'm not sure what the house was originally used, who lived in it. It doesn't have much information, but I said that once we do the tour, maybe they might have more information. And that one looks like it's a little bit more 1800s, probably late 1800s, or who knows. But this is, we'll go step up here and take a look-see. It's not open to the public because this house is the home of the Heirloom Seed Project. They're preserving certain seeds in here, and if you go to the museum, you can purchase some of those seed packets of the type of plants they would grow, and you can probably grow it in your own garden. I'm gonna look through here. Yeah. So, but again, like I said, I'm not sure what this building was originally. It was obviously a home, but doesn't have no other type of history. And I am the only one on the property, on the grounds of the property. Like I said, we can only do an external tour right now because of our current situation. And I found this a little interesting when I read this yesterday. Earliest part of the shop was built in 1870. Originally stood near Gettysburg. So apparently it's been re-roofed. So this was the J.W. Epley Shoeing and Blacksmithing Shop. Pardon me. And I'm trying to figure out what they're talking about. Which part of is the original part of the building. But I believe they also do, when this is open normally, they do blacksmithing demonstrations and all that in here. So I'm just trying to look around. They have another greenhouse or something over there. Looks like they were using it for storage right now. So I believe the peaked part of the building might be the original part, because if you look at it, the wood is totally different on the side of the building over there than this is. This board and bead or it's a totally different part of the wood, but you can see the total difference up there from the top of the peak of the building. The gable of the house over there is totally, that would have been the original shop then, so it would have been that tiny. And I guess as business grew, they added the external part here of the building. Now, when I was here yesterday, I was able to peek through the windows here a little bit, and I forgot to do this, just walk across and see if you could see anything. But this is like, they have a lot of farming. This is, yeah, you can see pieces of equipment in there. They have farming equipment in here, early farming equipment, the history, some of the equipment they would use. Yeah, and then you can walk through and see the different displays. Sorry. They would do threshing, mechanized threshing. Wow. There's an old tractor over there if you can see it carefully. I don't know if you can see it, but I said normally this would be open, but due to our current circumstances, I didn't go this far back, but cool. Let's see if you can, I can shadow it. I know it's hard to see it, but there. There's equipment over there. I believe this is more of a, well, it's hard to tell because the base of the building has a stone foundation, but still could be newer. But the building on the outside looks like it's a lot newer too. Or it might have just been painted so recently that it looks much newer. And let me see if you can see anything from this window. It's hard to see anything. Let me see. I don't know if you can see anything there. It says European depictions of moldboard plows. So yeah, everything in here. Although it says the exhibit is open, it's clearly closed due to our current situation again. Hate to say it over and over. But this was kind of cool too yesterday when I came here. What kind of Pennsylvania is more famous for. And I know I'm not taking as many pictures as I should be, but I'm gonna turn back this way. Got a good angle shot of it. This is not the only one. I'm sure, I think they bring this out and put it out in the open area with the canopy cover on it, because it's, the canopy is in there, excuse me. And then over there says, on that big post up there says, Landis Valley House, 1856. Now, I'm not sure what exactly that's referring to, if something stood here at one point at the Landis Valley House. But I believe this was a hotel right here, but I could be wrong. Yes, it is the Landis Valley Hotel. And that could be the name of the original building here, but I could be wrong. 1850, Jacob Landis Jr. The post office was located inside this hotel from 1857 to 1913. So, as you can read there, this was used up to 1913, but it might have been even after that. So I am going to go this way. And also right next door is the Hands-On House Children's Museum, which is a very interactive museum. I want to see if sorry, I will be apologizing a lot more, but I'm going to leave it in raw. And different members of the family lived here, as it explained over there, that the father and son lived over next to each other, and eventually the son took over the main house and the father lived in the Grossmutter house. So yesterday when I was over here, it's when I saw, and I'm going to walk up this way because it's a nice little embankment up here, but I was going to walk from the other side of the house where the wagon was at and over here and walk along the grounds here to this building. And it was from here that I noticed the fox ran along right here, and then took off and went around the back of the house, and then eventually scurried and jumped over the fence or something, because they were over there on that field over there between the property and that one over there. Yeah, this intrigued me yesterday too, because I don't know if it's like a horse hitch. Might have been some type of horse hitch or something here, but this is the Maple Grove School, built in 1890 and originally located in nearby Leola, but moved here in 1970. So this is the actual building. Like I said, it wasn't originally, it wasn't originally located here. It was in nearby Leola. It's about 5-10 minute drive from here, I guess. About a 10-minute drive from here to Leola. I'm trying to get that shot with the top of the painted steeple up there, the bell tower. Let's see. And I didn't take any pictures of inside of the other buildings because of the shadows being created. I don't know if I'll be able to see anything in here. Yes, you can. Okay, I'm going to take a picture in here. This is a schoolhouse. Now, normally this would be open, and you can probably walk in and see. Yeah, this is see from here. It's the same problem. It's a typical schoolhouse of the era. And this is what I was talking about yesterday. Oh man, that was such a cool find that I was standing right about here somewhere. Yeah, I was standing right here, right beside the school here, and let me see. The foxes ran right along this fence line here, and it stopped right over there by this tree, and it just stared at me because it knew I was here, and then just turned around and went back. But there was 2 foxes running around here, as they say, frolicking, playing around with each other. I was hoping to capture them today again, but no such luck so far. Now I do see something over there, but it might be just a groundhog over there. sticking from the ground. It looks furry or some sort. But it's not moving either, so I could be wrong. It might be just something. But it almost looks like a groundhog from here, but anyway. And what would have been typical for those days, probably, because no indoor plumbing back then. It's probably the his and hers outhouses. We probably had the boys and girls. They had the boys and girls, and interesting that they would face them in different directions. So the entryway for that one is over here. Sorry, I had to clean my throat. Oh. And obviously only 2 people could come in, though I don't think many of the times the 2 kids would come at one time unless they really had to go. I'm gonna try to step down over here somewhere. There's a little, yes, okay, I see it now. Little pathway here that I didn't see yesterday because I didn't walk this far over here. But I'm not sure. I think this is all, that building is also part of it, but it looks like it's just the maintenance building. Excuse me again. Maybe I'm talking too much. So, and I did not visit this yesterday. Yesterday when I did this, I don't know if it's because I was walking slower or whatever. I'm trying to walk a little faster today so I can get to the other places. And then this is where the Landis collections are kept. I'm not sure what this building is over here, but there's the building. I'm walking over here today because I didn't do it yesterday. And if you look carefully over there, the other building that has the same style curved roof over there, that I believe is Hands-On House. So I don't know how they're related or connected. If this place also maybe runs or controls Hands-On House for children, the Children's Museum over there on the other side of the parking lot right there. There is also a mission over there. I'm not sure what the mission, but that is more for younger kids, I believe, like up to 3 and 4 years old. There's a lot of interactive things that the kids can do over there. They're allowed to touch and stuff and play with stuff. So apparently this is now, you are now standing in the former field of Henry and Maryland is located behind their feed mill and mechanical shop. So obviously I'm gonna go up a little bit, see if I can, and then you can stop and read it. I don't know if I can get any closer without losing a lot of the, so gives you information. Apparently there was another home here at one time in the fields. And this is obviously the Landis Collections entrance. And there's more stuff in there, but we know why. Okay, building 24. Built to store the collections and give behind the scenes look at the museum's collection, artifact history. Yeah, this is why I wish it was open. Wow, they have Civil War firearms. If you Look carefully in there. I'm not going to turn the camera because I want to keep it in the horizontal. But they had, you can see it, it's hard to see it from here, but they have firearms right there. So I'm going to just take a picture through the door. But I would definitely come and visit this place once it's open. And I'm going to walk beside the building here, because there's a little pathway here, but there's still more to see yet. I just didn't go in a certain direction because I didn't see a lot of what these other buildings are yet. I'm not sure what it is. And as I was saying, see, if you look over there, the building is curved identically to this one, and that over there is the Children's Museum, Hands-On House. So I'm not sure if they're connected in some way, shape, or form, but I believe it would be a separate admission. It's not included in this tour. This is Landis Valley Museum, and this is a more modern building also, so it could be more for maintenance or whatever. Yeah, see, it's not open to the public. So this is a very big facility, from what I noticed. Okay. Yeah, that's all over there, part of the Hands-On House area. I'm not sure what that little building was. And we're looking at the parking, the large parking lot. My vehicle is parked right over there. Over there by the museum itself. I mean, store. Oh, okay, this is just the maintenance areas. Yeah, these are just maintenance buildings, except for the collection. As I said, we're nearby Lancaster Airport too. Small airport, municipal. But we have like smaller commuter services come out of there too. Okay, this is Henry Hess, Landis's home, farm home. So we were just on the other side up there by the collections, and that would have been the field where they worked. And I am going to get closer. You can pause this and read it for yourself. And there's a view. There's a view over there, if you look at the picture of this home and the hotel building over there, because it has the same slope on the front. H.H. and Mary lived here. So this is the Isaac Landis complex. So we are now building 22. Built in 1875. Buildings were sold in 1920 to Henry Hess Landis, who added the feed mill. So there was a feed mill here at one time. It explained that over there. It's not open to the public right now, but we're gonna step up and look carefully here. Cool, neat. Take a peek at the Victorian Dollhouse. So it's kind of hard to see here. See if I can get closer. This might actually be a real one from Victorian times. see what we can see in here. Looks like right now they use it for events or something. It's not, but I love the colors and everything, how vibrant the building looks, how well maintained they kept the building. Should have came around and walked through the entryway here. It's kind of cool. And eventually we'll get to all these other buildings. Well, we already went around that side, so now we're gonna go back this way. I don't know why my throat is bothering me so much today. Sorry. My throat was bothering me. So there's more signage here. The country store. This is what we're right next to. There's a firehouse and the surveyor shop and the tin shop. And then the main entrance. And then we already went to the Maple Grove Schools of the Collections Gallery. But then we're going to shift and go across to what it probably would have looked like originally. That probably would be most of the original town, I guess, before it became a town. So here we are now at the country store. So this is a recreation from 1810 to 1880 to 1910. Sorry, got the dates wrong. Let me see if I get some pictures from the distance. I did the same thing yesterday. I had to back up several times. Sorry, I don't have any stabilization yet, but it's coming. Okay, so like it said, this is probably not original, but it gives you an idea of what a country store would have looked like back then. And I love the old signage up here. And then hope it does it justice, but I'm gonna try to get pictures of this thing, even though it's gonna have too much of a reflection on there. The old Buddy L tin truck there. This one, maybe, no, still won't let me. Neat. An old sled. It's hard to see again because of the reflection being created by it. Yesterday I had really good pictures of it because of it being a cloudy day, but today being a sunny day, you're going to get a lot more reflection. An old stove. Let's see if I can see the rocking horse a little better. Oh, shall I go this angle? Yes, I'll go to this angle. And also because of the type of glass they made back then. No, I don't think I'll go this side. You can see more of the rocking horse. And the creepy looking baby doll. So we already explored all that area over there. So I want to just finally go down the road here. Now I'm trying to decide how I'm going to do this, but I think I am going this way and then coming back toward the firehouse, which is right there beside us. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to go around. The door doesn't want to open properly. I wanted to go in through the main entrance there. Maybe I'm not pulling hard enough on the handle there, but since we're over here, we will walk over to the Pioneer Fire Company here, number 1's building. So this would have been the fire department back then, the firehouse. I think that building is, this thing over here might have been to might have been like an early alarm. They would have grabbed that stick, I'm sure, and then rang it on the either side of the ring here. So it was to notify the town if there was a fire or something, to bring attention to the town. Now, how original this is, I'm not sure. It looks way too original. Not too original, rather, sorry, too brick. The brick looks too new, so it might be something newer. And they don't have any farm equipment in here. They just use it as like for special events and stuff. But right over there, it's hard to see it though. Nope, it's hard to see. They have a signage. It's hard to see from in here. Let me see if it'll let me. There it is. If you can see it. There. They have a sign about early equipment and stuff. There are other places that have firefighting history and stuff you can visit. Not around here that I'm aware of. So this is representative of the late 1800s. So brick would have been used back then. And then this is the surveyor's, which is beautiful because it has a lot of the original, gingerbread, as I call it, up there in the top. See it? It looks like stars, snowflakes almost. Come on, step back. Got to step back a little bit. I'm trying to get the building by itself, but. And then this is a picture of the firehouse. And then I want to see if I can get a picture of the, let's see if I can do a slightly better close-up of the signage. Now the sign looks like it's original from the 1800s. Back to the, zoom out again. And before I forget, let me go get a picture of that Landis Valley House post with the original 1856 right there. Has 1856. I see there are workers of the grounds crew. Must be doing some sort of painting or stuff because he has a painter's thing on. So get a picture of that. And the hotel. Get a picture of the hotel. Let's see if I can. I think I got two of them. So we're already at over an hour already here. It took me about an hour and a half the last time I came to go through all the buildings and stuff. And I would really like to come in here this thing doesn't want to move anymore. So I don't think they want people to come in through that one. It's just to preserve it more. Okay, sorry for that extreme close-up. I forgot to put the setting back. Eventually when I get my gimbal, that'll control all that with the controls on the gimbal. And I do love this house too, for also some of the architecture that they have on here too, and the woodwork. I think this is H, and the two H's of Henry Landis, I believe. Henry and Jacob Landis. So I'm going to, there's the fence that I couldn't get through, and I'm going to approach it like as I'm walking. The Landis brothers' house and stable. So there's not much to see, but I do love the woodworking up there. It's beautiful, and it's pretty well taken care of. Built in 1879, enlarged in 1894 by Henry and Emma Landis. Stable house first museum from 1925 to 1939. So there's the stable right over there beside it, and it's such a neat thing. I wanted to use this day for something else, but unfortunately, due to my fumbling, that I lost all my other footage. From yesterday, which was a cloudier day. So in a way, I'm glad that I came out today and reshot it again. Trying to get another angle of the house so I can take a photo. But apparently, I'm bumping into stuff, sorry. So, and just look at the detail of some of that woodworking. And again, this is the actual stable, and the very first museum was begun here. So the original museum is here. A Cooper Tubbs bucket. Oh wow, cool. Well, look at that. So there was a Cooper in here that would make barrels in this shop here. Or buckets also. And shows you some of the barrels. So that's what I'll say. It's neat to would actually see all this stuff. I'm sure this would be open in there, and you could see the remaining. And then up here, it's hard to see, but because of the reflection. There was a Cooper. I'll see what I can see from the side here. It's hard to see, but he would have had his own outhouses. Looks like that was the original one, and they preserved this one a little bit more better. And I was over there on that side when I first began the tour, but like I said, I wanted to show you this. I believe they called this like a crossroads and stuff. Well, maybe that was the crossroads over there. But anyway, we'll continue our way along the pathway here. So it was interesting to learn that the stable was the original museum when they've. Oh wow, cool! I didn't notice this yesterday. All these millstones. I just walked right by them. I didn't even pay attention. And I did see another millstone somewhere else yesterday, but I don't recall where. But it's neat to see all these millstones. And then this is the education building. Part of the Landis Brothers house and stable complex. Now it's a educational space now. So they have tables all set up in here, as you can see, and they, I guess, give you a lot more information about the building. So obviously this was also part of the original complex. Oh wow, look, I did not see this. I didn't pay attention to this yesterday, but I hope you can see it. This mill is a model of the John Eshelman Mill from Lancaster County. The mill was established in 1842. This model was built in 1830. Grist mills were a very important part in the lives of early settlers. Wow, that is neat. Great reproduction of it. I wish I could see a better shot from inside, but like I said, it's not open, so. And yes, they were very important here. There's other things I'm going to go check out. And this is the yellow barn. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a shot from the other, for the end of the street as I call it here. But I want to get I should have done it right from the firehouse when I was over here. But I want to get a full view of it to give you an idea how big the building was. Well, this is the yellow barn. There's the educational. A lot of families can probably trace their history here too, I'm sure, local families. Not just the Landis family either. Now, I don't know if I'm going to pull this. I don't think I'm going to do too much editing on this. I might just leave it raw like this and hope people would like to see the whole tour. This is the Everestman House. And this building used to once be in downtown Lancaster, in Lancaster City itself. The Everestman House. I don't remember when they moved this here, because I never even heard about it until when I came down here. But sometimes it happens like that. Stuff gets lost into history, and you have to go around and do tours like this to find it again. But again, this is the Everestman House. It's hard to see inside of it because the only one window is open, but just gives you an idea. And I was here a little bit earlier, so, and I started from over there earlier, and so there's the craft barn over there. One of these is the gun shop, but I'm not sure which building is the gun shop itself. So there was a gun shop here at one time. And I'm going to walk around here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the whole time I walked right by it. So I didn't come here before. And I want to see what's back here. Oh, this is the other side of this house here. Okay, and then they had their own wood stove. I'm not sure if they would have cooked in it or if it would have been used to heat the home back then. Okay, this is a recreation also. Built in the 40s. Display the museum collection of gun and gunsmithing equipment, especially the Pennsylvania rifle. Yes, some people confuse it with call it the Kentucky rifle, but they have this Bard. But I cannot see anything much in there. But supposedly they had a collection of guns in here too, unless they've moved it. Oh, it's hard to see. I can't see anything because I'm too short, and this building is a lot taller. Okay, so there's the gun shop, and then there's the little courtyard here for the red barn. Oh, yellow barn. Sorry. I looked at the roof there and it got thrown out. Oh, that's what they are, sheds. Buildings 19 and 20. A recreation original building 41 to house farm wagons and equipment. Okay, so there's the north and south courtyard sheds. That's the shed over there, and there's the shed over there. So that's what they were really used for. And then there's the back of the Everestman House. But now that I'm here, maybe I can look from this side of the steps and see anything in there. Wow. It's a lot of it is gated off to protect the areas, but you can see they have a fireplace there, and then there's looks like there was a lid to the basement down there, and probably the living area, and then there was a bedroom upstairs, a small bedroom probably up in the what would be the attic area. So now I'm gonna head back out, and it's neat to see these buildings being kept, history being kept up like this, because we're losing it little, day by day. We're losing stuff. Oh wow, cool. There you can see inside a little bit. Sorry, the windows are a little bit dirty. You know, I wish I had a rag or something and I could take a picture. And it gives you everyday things they used in everyday life back then. I'm sure this door would be open. This door would be open if the museum was open and you can tour each of the buildings. And that is the visitor center right there, the back side of the visitor center, and where I kind of started my tour from. So I wanted to get this view, get a nice shot. I would have loved to have come early in the morning and taken this shot, taken this tour, and you could have, everything would have been on a different type of lighting. So there's only one more building for me to go to, and it's this one right here, where I will probably end the tour. I may still go to, well, maybe not end the tour, but I'm going to probably head over to the graveyard right there next door, and see if I can get a better shot and a better angle of this building. This is the tin shop, and I'm going to see if I can get a better picture of this sign that says that it's the tin shop. So obviously they would make 10 items, as you can see right through the window. Let's see if I can. This is almost a lost art anymore. Trying to create more of a thing there so you can see some of the stuff that they make. It's pretty much a lost, not a lost art, but people still do practice it. I actually, let's see if I can get it over here. Yep. I'm not sure how much you'll be able to see that sign, but